I'm Austin.
My name is Philip.
I'm Morgan.
And today we're going to talk about the Second Life food store. So the problem that we decided to address was food waste in America. And the biggest thing that we saw was Americans waste 33 million pounds of food each year. That's enough to fill the Empire State Building 91 times. And the bigger factor of that is each year, the average American wastes between 200 to 250 pounds of edible food. Food that's not just bad and you just throw away. It's food that is still good and still edible. Philip.
That's awesome. So, looking at our lean canvas, we identified two problems. First, that edible food is wasted on so many different levels, like at the farmer level, supermarket level, and at the consumer level. And we really want to target this problem that food that is labeled expired or sell by with all these labels still is good and you still basically can eat it. The other problem is that the food is too expensive for people that don't have enough money to go to these major supermarkets, but don't have are not low enough under the poverty line to go to food banks and get food there. So our solution would be we just sell the expired foods, sell them cheaper, sell them for like 35% off the original price, and basically just sell the food to everyone. That's when I'm coming next to the customer segments. It's basically everyone and the people who are below the poverty line and right above the poverty line but below average. And another target group are the ecological conscious customers who really don't agree with all the food waste and want to do something better for the world. So, Austin.
So going to the key metrics, the people we talked to, 67% of the people that we interviewed, that we talked to, we surveyed, said that they would be willing to buy the food from us that were expired. And we thought that was really, really key because we needed to know that people were willing to buy the food that was expired, that the big supermarkets weren't willing to sell because there is this social stigma of expired foods being bad and you can't eat it. Secondly, we thought, well, how are we going to get the food? So we talked to different places and we got 54% of stores that would be willing to sell or donate the food to us that we could reuse. And that's important because we have to have food to sell to have a business. We can't just give away nothing. So moving on to the channels. So how are we going to get the food? The food is going to come from supermarkets and other major retailers that sell food, but they're not going to sell the expired foods. We're going to get that food from them. Also, we're going to kind of partner with some homeless shelters and get information out there for people that live in that lower income, but they still want to be a part of the community. They don't want to be completely left out. So get the information to homeless shelters so that these people can go grocery shopping. Lastly, well not lastly, but we're going to talk to partners and get partners with this deal and have them tell their own customers about it. So that way we can get more information out there and keep getting it a broader and broader horizon. Lastly, we thought social media would be a great way for us to get word out there. We know social media is a big advertising market, so getting social media ads and getting it in front of millions of people is the best way. And then we thought, well, how are we going to get the food from the supermarket to our store? So we're going to have trucks that will pick the food up from the stores, the expired food, and then bring it back to us. Our unfair advantage is that we're going to be selling the expired foods and the food that the other stores will not sell. That is going to set us apart there. We're going to sell it cheaper. We're going to sell it at least 35% cheaper. That puts us below all the other competitors, all the way across the board. And then also we're going to have no regulations for customers. Everyone is welcome, as Philip said. Everyone can buy from us. We're not going to stop anyone from coming. And then our unique value proposition is for the lower income families to give them an option to buy food from a store at a cheaper price because we are selling the expired Best Buy, Sell By, and other foods that major stores will not sell. And also, we are not turning anyone away. Morgan.
When we did our surveys, we got feedback from our people that took the survey for what they look for when they go to the supermarket or what they think of when they're going to buy food. And some popular trends that we got back from them was that they want to be able to have the option to provide enough food for their families. They not only want to find cheap food, but they want to find high quality foods for less amount of money. For the eco-friendly people, they were looking for ways to prevent food waste in their own homes. Our opportunity size, it's people that are below the average of the income in their areas. So it would be more like the lower class people, and like they said earlier, the people in between the poverty line and the average. In the United States, it would be about 92.5 million people. In Indiana, it'd be 880,000 people, and in Evansville, it'd be about 35,000. When we were looking at it, our main competitors, we feel, are Aldi's, Walmart, and Tri-State Food Bank. Aldi's, they're going to be selling their food 30% cheaper than their competitors, which would be like Walmart, and they donate all expired food that they can. Walmart, they are 2% cheaper than their competitors, which would be like Target. And when we called the Westside Walmart, they actually told us they didn't know what a food bank was. The Tri-State Food Bank, their advantages are, well, their food's free, but they have certain regulations for who can shop there and who can't. Our second live food store, like the boys said earlier, it's 35% cheaper than our competitors, and will have no regulations. Second live food store, where even food deserves a second chance. I messed it up when I said it out there too.
Thanks, Scott.